More appealing and fun than stepping on a Lego. Less fun than 2 rolls of bubble wrap. This is Two Fat Guys Discuss.
Welcome.
Welcome you.
Sir.
Sir.
To a very chilly night.
Yes.
Last time I checked, which is quite some time ago, it was like -4.
Yeah, so there might be a one episode post night tonight.
Maybe.
But we do have another episode planned for it will be. We do apologize for the episodes coming up late this week.
Yes.
And last week. I'm not very good on uploading on time, but
we'll work on it.
We guarantee at least once a week.
And
we'll try to get on a schedule.
Believe it or not, our intro today was not related to our topic.
Oh, we're just
our topic is just general discussion.
We've done a lot of themes lately, and we're just gonna do a general discussion
Some
today.
stuff that's happened recently that we want to talk about.
In other words, people that are actually watching this, and we know people are watching these. We see the views. You're supposed to help us come up with topics.
You wanted to open today with a very beloved person that we lost in the movie industry.
Yes. Harold Ramis, or I'm not sure how to say his last name, has passed earlier this week, Monday of this week. And it's
some of the best 80s movies ever.
Some of the best 80s movies.
In my opinion.
A lot of talent. Just a lot of good talent.
Groundhog Day.
Stripes.
For those of you who are not 100% sure who this is, he played the skinny guy with glasses in Ghostbusters.
Egon.
Very good, just good set of movies. Very talented actor, at least back in the day.
He
talented director. He directed Groundhog Day, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he directed Groundhog Day.
Very talented person, and we just
help Aykroyd write Ghostbusters 1 and 2. He was in Stripes with Bill Murray. Did a handful of a butt ton of television, a bunch of movies. Having a hard time recalling them, but and then wrote and directed the movie Year One with Jack Black, Michael Cera. If you haven't seen that movie, go do. It's really funny. People saw, it's essentially a Jack Black movie, but it's beautifully written.
It's funny.
It's great. It's very smart written. It's very funny. Go see it. You can go see Michael Cera for those who are like, oh, well, Jesse Einsberg's busy. But Harold
loss of talent. We lost talent.
Yeah, it's a big loss. Just R.I.P. And just to his credit, real quick before we switch topics, the Ghostbusters video game came out a couple years ago, which essentially, for those who kind of accept it for what it is, was made in place of the Ghostbusters 3 movie. It takes place after 1 and 2, and it's the next event that happens.
It was a pretty big deal when it came out, too.
Yeah,
it was a really big deal when it came out.
It's a great game, too. It does get a little repetitive, but most games do. But no, it's a great...
It's hard to break that cycle.
It is, and if you're a fan of Ghostbusters and you haven't seen this, give it a rental, or just watch some videos online of the cinematics or whatever, but give it a rental. If you're a fan of the Ghostbusters, it's a great send-off.
To be honest, I don't think in any reviews that I saw on that game, at least professional reviews, I don't think I've seen that game rated below a 9.
No, it's a very good game. I give it kudos. Now, I will say this, though. There is inferior and superior ports of it. The Xbox 360, PC, and PlayStation 3, they got treated very well. Very realistic graphics, really nice. Now, if you go and get the Wii version or the PS2 version, now I hear that the story is the same and everything, but very cartoony graphics. So, personally, you want to see
limitations.
Yeah, you want to see Ghostbusters 3? Get the game. And actually, little known fact too, especially those out there, and it's not Ghostbusters like, oh, these are people. They got the guys from the cartoon show. No, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Weston, the guy who played Peck, the guy who played the mayor of New York City, anyone who was in the movies that played a character, they came back and voiced their character again. This chick that played.
I think that's one of the reasons why it was.
It's so good.
Scored so high.
Yes. So if you're
Hollywood
interested,
talent in a lot of video games does raise it. It does show. It shows.
Hollywood talent, and it does. I mean, to their credit, but I mean, especially with something so iconic as the Ghostbusters.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You want to see either the guys who did the voices in real Ghostbusters, or you want to see the guys step right back into their skin, and they did a wonderful job. So Harold Ramis, you will be missed.
Very much so.
What else were we gonna talk about today?
This is something that's been going on for a while. It started with protests over an anti-protest law in Ukraine, which fitting. It's very fitting.
There's more to it too, but yeah.
Yeah, that's how it mostly, quote unquote, started. It eventually evolved to full-scale riots, just trashing very ancient cities.
Yes.
And very beautiful cities. They did. They did keep a lot of what I would consider destruction to the older.
Some of the more important things, and for those
it's been minimal.
For those who aren't catching on, we're talking about the turmoil currently going on in Ukraine.
Some of the very iconic sculptures are still good. They're fine, or fixable at least. And so it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it was really bad. It was a very sad time. A lot of people lost their lives. Now,
not trying to seem insensitive. Now I know the Ukraine thing. It's brought up a lot of issues that are going on in the Ukraine, and more power to them. If you're pissed off about what's going on, do something about it. And honestly,
they did. Their president's gone. Was in Russia.
He got ousted. Their parliament ousted him. He's like, I'm still running shit though.
I got this, guys. No, you're gone. Don't just stop trying. He's gone. But what we really wanted to discuss was Kiev.
Kiev, yeah. Which I believe is the capital of Ukraine.
Well, there's two capitals to Ukraine. It's weird because Ukraine is pretty much split based off of a language barrier on one part and citizen barrier on one part. Because there's like half of Ukraine still thinks they're Russian, still are Russian citizens. They are Russian citizens.
Yeah.
And the other half of Ukraine is they're Ukrainians.
Yeah.
And each one has its own constitution. Like Kiev itself and that surrounding area, is just an absolute riot trying to get away from being a part of Ukraine. They want to be a part of Russia again.
And Putin's trying to see what he can do. Yeah.
And Russia is trying to change their annex laws so that they can annex Kiev.
We'll talk more about Russia because Russia needs to be discussed. Modern day Russia. Come on, guys. There's some big issues you got to take care of, man.
There's some stuff that they're doing that I really like. It really strikes me as like, all right, well, that's a really good idea. And then they turn around and do some other shit, and I'm like, really? Like,
yeah, it's
really.
Russia
has a flat income tax rate. They do. Russia has a flat. It's not like we have a scaling income tax rate. The rich get taxed more. The poor don't get taxed as much. Russia, it's 15%.
Well, a lot of it. I mean, they're no longer communist, but they kept what worked from the communist rule.
They did.
We'll get into that another time and stuff like that. But I mean,
some stuff they're doing, it's like, oh yeah, sweet, and then other stuff, it's like, really,
yeah. And then
some other things.
Yeah, the whole Ukraine thing. If you watch this and you are in the Ukraine, you did something about it.
Let us know what's going on too.
Yeah, I mean we get what information we can, but at the same time,
it's from U.S. media outlets.
Exactly.
But I mean. Another thing, Russia's doing emergency practices, I guess they're calling it, their troop movements on the Ukrainian border. Well,
you also have to take in consideration. Yes, there's a Ukraine thing, but and it was a big deal with the Olympics. The Caucasus area is they're having a lot of issues with terrorists right now.
Oh yeah, and
they're a big boy.
Russia's locked down one of Ukraine's ports with Russian soldiers. Because this is what they're saying anyway, and I believe them. I think it's a legitimate reason. They're saying that they're trying to keep people from going into this military port and taking weapons.
Which is a very,
And they got Russian commandos set up. And
It's
a lot
possible.
of people are like, "Oh, that's bullshit. You're just trying to prepare for your invasion." I'm like, no, that's actually legitimate.
No,
That's legitimate.
I mean, honestly,
With all the shit that's going on in Ukraine right now, that's legit.
and people are talking about, oh, it's going to be a Russian invasion and stuff like that.
Maybe Russian annex.
I don't see. I mean, honestly, people are all looking into these prophecies way too hard that World War III is right around the corner.
I don't see it.
I don't see it. I mean, honestly, the thing is the Middle East incidents that's happened over the last 20 years didn't spark it. I don't think any superpower right now is in a position to try to start something. Russia's not in a position to try to start anything right now. We're not in a position to start anything right now.
Well, another thing is to be completely fair, this is what Kiev wants.
The majority of the people in Kiev want to go back to Russia.
And
we'll say the majority because God knows they are
the
people.
majority. A lot of the people in Kiev are Russian citizens and they have Ukrainian passports or visas. And
Kiev was considered one of the most beautiful cities of all of the Soviet Union.
And a lot of people in Kiev want to go back to Russia. So, I mean, everyone's making a shit fit about it. How I see it is, remember the whole Toledo War thing? Toledo was almost a part of Michigan, and Ohio eventually won it. It's pretty much the same thing.
But I mean, granted, it's on a much larger scale with countries, but at the same time,
if they want to be a part of Russia, I don't see why everyone's making a shit fit.
That's it. I mean, there's channels they can go through. I mean, honestly, as long as they do it, go through the channels. I mean, you gotta approach the UN and all this shit. Go through your channels, and I mean,
I'm not saying spark bloodshed and start a war. I'm just saying if you want to be a part of Russia,
there's a way to do
Kiev, then I think Kiev should be a part of Russia. That's just how it is.
Go. Well, let's get away from the depressing Russia a little bit. We'll come back to them another time. Let's talk about something a little angry, but that brings a lot of joy.
Angry Joe.
Angry Joe.
You've got me on Angry Joe. You started me on Angry Joe.
For those of you who watch this who haven't seen it, or if you're not much of a web browser, because I honestly stumbled upon it through a series of videos I used to watch, and it's Angry Show, the AngryJoeShow.com. It's a video game reviewer. He also does a lot of interviews and stuff like that. He just posted an interview with one of the lead developers on Infinite Crisis. If you're interested in that game, check it out. Very entertaining man.
Very much so, and
very true gamer too.
He shares a lot of my opinions on things like Jesse Eisenberg thing.
Yep.
Shares my opinion on that. Love that. I saw a lot of his game review or his best. He just did a whole series of best of 2013s, and he did his most anticipated 2014. I watched a lot of his best of or worst of 2013 videos and the biggest top 10 controversies, things like that. And it's a lot of things that I saw during 2013. I'm like, really? Or I'm like, oh, well, that was a really good game. He does actually have a very grounded opinion.
He's very passionate, though.
Very much so.
Because he comes from the world of a core gamer. And, it's not nothing against, like, Game Informer or IGN. I mean, they say they're equal, but at the same time, I mean, these guys get a lot more...
Rockstar only buys so many reviews. That's what I'm saying.
That on top of the fact is it's their job. It's, they're paid to pick apart this game, boil it down and all that stuff. That's what they get paid to do. Joe, I mean, if he makes money off a show, I think
he does now. He didn't start that way though.
But he's just a guy who's like, all right, this game came out, I'm gonna do it, and then he reviews it right off the bat. And he points out the good, the bad,
and he really gives the game its fair shot too.
He does. He will play the game from beginning to end
if he can, if it's possible.
If it's possible, and give it a fair review. There's been games on there that he's like, real quick, he doesn't care for the new DMC, the new Devil May Cry. He's got his issues with it as far as the story, the characters, what they did to the lore of the Devil May Cry series. But at the same time, he admitted, he's like, as much as the characters and this and that, he's like, but what we're here for and what the main reason we buy these, are they entertaining? Is the gameplay play? And he's like, yes! This was by far this is Devil May Cry on a next-gen system. Like, This is what it needs to be. Now, the story may suck, the characters may blow cock, but dude, when you're actually playing Devil May Cry, it is great.
I think one of my favorite things that Joe brings up in video games constantly is he doesn't really agree for sex for the sake of sex in video games. He doesn't agree with the tits for the sake of tits.
Oh yeah, just to put a titty in there.
The whole point of the game is tits.
Yeah. Now, if it's something, something like that, Road to Redemption, that biker game that he did, the worst game of 2013. Literally, I mean, he points it out to like sex in this game it's horrible. It's just straight exploitative because it's like, oh well, I just saved you from being raped. Now you will do me.
Yeah.
And then it's just fully clothed body humping and sex for the sake of sex. Unlike games like
really
Witcher.
does. The first Witcher has some sex for the sake of sex scenes. The second one, it makes sense in the story.
There's some story arcs that
he doesn't just go, oh, I hate sex in video games. He goes, I hate sex in video games if it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like if it's tits just for tits, or if it's nipples for nipples, George Clooney Batman. Anyways,
if it makes sense,
exactly. Like
he loves it in the game. If it adds to the story,
or adds to the world, and he even backed it up because it's like sex for the sake of sex, like Ride to Hell. Don't get this game, please. Don't just watch reviews and you'll know why. But it's just sex for sex. But if it progresses the story or if it's part of the world, like he brought it up briefly in the GTA. When he talks about Grand Theft Auto. Yes, there's strip clubs in Grand Theft Auto. But at the same time, it's an open world game, and you're exploring the seedy underside of the city, which would contain the cabaret clubs, strip clubs, and stuff like that. That would be part of the world that, as your character, you would be interested in. So it's not sex for the sake of sex; it's because it just makes the city more believable, more interactive. If it serves a purpose, awesome. If not, don't turn into a B-class horror movie.
This is just a small point of reviewing video games. But it's just one of those things that he points out that I really associate with when I play games. Because when I played the Mass Effect games, the relationship aspect in those games didn't really seem necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the first game anyway. And I actually played in the second game. In the first game, it didn't really seem necessary. It was just kind of like...
Get laid.
They threw it in there because they could. Sweet.
AngryJoeShow.com is the website.
He's got a YouTube channel. We'll put it in the comments or something.
Yeah, you can go to. He's got a YouTube channel.
Definitely watch.
Definitely worth it. I mean, and he covers it all. Console games, PC games. He's a console gamer by heart.
Oh sure.
And one of his favorite games of last year. And then he's like, if I go right now and I boot up this game, I'm lost for hours. Was Civ.
Oh yeah,
was Civ, Total War. He loves Total War strategy games and stuff like that.
He's a really big strategy gamer altogether. He just did a piece on Civ 5, the new the expansion.
The latest, yeah.
And he's a big strategy gamer, so if you're into strategy games, his reviews will definitely.
But don't feel that it'll deter you because he's a fan of gaming. I mean,
he does all kinds of things.
He does fighting games. He loves fighting games. Like Mortal Kombat came out in 2011. Hails it as exactly what a next-gen fighter needs to be. Take note, Marvel Capcom. But he's like, this is, and he's like, I went online and he's like, granted, I got my ass kicked a few times, but he's like, they're good games. And then he talks about first-person shooters and, he covers everything he can and, sold me on buying Far Cry 3. I want to buy Far Cry 3. But yeah, Angry Joe Show. He does, and it's a gaming community too.
Definitely.
You can join the Angry Joe Army, and basically it's like you got your clans online, but it's more than just a clan. It's a whole community. Just like the new Elder Scrolls MMO's coming out, and he's building up his army. Like, dude, we're gonna go do this. You're part of the show. He'll get you into the guild. You prove yourself, and next thing you know, you're raiding, and all of a sudden you're like, LOL, I'm dead, and he comes up like, arise, and then he runs off, and it's like, thank you, Angry Joe.
Definitely look into it.
Yes, please. If you're a fan of gaming, check it out.
And we have one more thing on the slate today.
One more thing on the slate.
Which I'm very happy about because this is a childhood icon for me, in my opinion.
Yes.
Was always happy when they reeled out the TV in the classroom.
The AV-TV.
Big old tube TV strapped down to the rolly thing, and they turn it on like, "Guess what we're watching today, guys?" And everyone's like, "Bill Nye the Science Guy."
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Everyone loves Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Who legitimately is a very, very, very intelligent man.
He is.
He's got
originally he was a mechanic engineer, I believe, a mechanical engineer.
Something. I'm not exactly
He was
sure.
originally a mechanical engineer, but we're going to discuss the return, quote unquote, of Bill Nye.
Yeah, because he never technically went away.
He didn't really go away, but he's come back. He's a spotlight recently.
He's using, and I think what it is I mean, he's generally concerned what's going on, but he's also one of those people, and it's not on the docket, but I'll bring it up after this, and it's something that I've seen recently that really actually makes me happy. But I'll talk about that after this real quick. I know it's not on the docket, but he's using his ability to draw people. Everyone knows who Bill Nye is. And when you see, like Bill Nye is going to debate congresswomen over climate change and what needs to be done, it's like, this is an important topic, and Bill Nye knows what he's talking about.
On top of that, and a lot of people credit Bill Nye for this, scientists included, they think that it's a great idea for him to be doing these things because of his ability to explain things to people.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying to say Congress people are retarded. I'm just trying to say that his ability to explain things to children,
just
from
people in general, and just people in general, like.
But it stems from the ability to explain things to children, and he's very good at it. He's very good at explaining things to anybody.
He is on the line of, I wouldn't say best actor or whatever, but it's his ability to convey important information to a large audience that would understand everything is equivalent to and I think I've said it before, like Dan Aykroyd as an actor is the king of exposition.
Oh yeah.
I mean, think of the movie Pearl Harbor. Everyone's got their opinion of it. It's not a great movie, but when Dan Aykroyd came out and he was the strategic guy, and he had like that 10-minute scene and all he did was talk, you knew exactly everything that was going on. He is the king of they just know how to explain it in such a way that everyone understands. And yeah, Bill Nye, I mean, kudos. I mean, thank you.
He just did the debate with Ken Ham.
Just recently, yeah.
Debate, which I haven't had the pleasure of seeing yet.
It's a great 3.5 hours. I mean, I hate watching debates, dude. I put this on originally on my phone as background noise while I was playing Lord of the Rings Third Age on the PS2. I decided as noise because I don't got a radio in there, so I'm just some noise. I ended up, and I love this game.
Oh yeah.
I love this game with a fucking passion. I'm gone for I've beaten the game 4 times, 5-6 hours at a time, just gone. And I found myself, I had my phone sitting here, and for the first time ever, I actually put down the controller and was more interested on what the point. And I mean, I'm a creationist by definition, and not saying, oh fuck you Ken Ham or anything like that, but no, like even Ken Ham, I mean the debate was so good that I was legitimately not like snarky or cynical watching Ken Ham's portions of the debate, like fuck you dude, like actually like it's getting to the point now that yeah, go watch it because they both it's finally to the point that these issues that people have been bringing up for years, whether it's creationism, climate change, anything that's going on. Bill Nye is one of those people that they know they have to bring out the big gun, the intelligent people, not just because I said people, you know what I mean? And it's great. It lost for 3 hours, dude.
And I think my favorite part about that.
You want more.
My favorite part about that is when I originally told you about this debate, you were like, you really didn't want to watch it. And I'm happy I got you, even though I haven't had the chance yet. I'm happy I got you to watch it, just because of how excited that you just were about it.
It's
and one good example of how good Bill Nye is at explaining things to people is he was on Fox News once, and they were asking Bill Nye whether or not, it was supposed to be about climate change, but the stupid reporter chick was like, there's a meteor passing by Earth, and Earth is heating up, and, meteorites, meteorology, is there a connection here, Bill Nye? And he's like, well, no, there's not.
And he's like, STFU.
Well, he's like, no, there's not, but... Because she tried to say, like, climate change isn't real, it's something to do with meteors. He's like, oh, well, actually, the root word for meteor, or meteorology, stems from meteorite, and the fact that meteorites used to be considered weather phenomena, and then he goes off into a spiel about climate change.
Yep.
And, like, he just totally explains it really well, and shuts her down, and he's like, here you go.
You have a great day. But yeah, no, Bill Nye's back.
It is the way he speaks as well.
He's very, you can tell he's a real person. It's not, he's got his notes, he's in the debate. And you can tell he's a real person because we know he's intelligent. You can check his credentials, he's very intelligent. He knows exactly what he's talking about. But he's a real person, unlike these people who, do normal debates and they're looking at the teleprompter and they talk like this the whole time. He's got his notes, he's got his little script or whatever that he wrote for himself, and he trips. He's a real guy. He'll be like, and oh crap. Oh well. Anyways, he's very real, and I'm really, he's bringing up a lot of points. So if you haven't seen any of these videos yet, look them up. Bill Nye's back. He's bringing up a lot of good points, things that need to be done. I'll leave that to the videos to say what needs to be done.
He's really stepped up to the plate and saying, hey, America, this shit needs to stop.
Like it's time to wake up.
Because we have really. We used to be...
We're starting to slip.
We used to be way far ahead of everyone in technology. Now we're not even close. And he's just like, hey, America, come on now.
He's like, and he doesn't, he's not like just saying like, oh, people are lazy. He's like, he brings it up like, it needs to start with education. I mean, you plant that seed of science, that seed of knowledge in a kid, and then next thing you know, they're the next great scientist. Now, he's like, scientists are all over the world, and everyone makes but we're significantly lacking, and there's a lot of problems with it.
To expand on that, starting with children, they actually just released a study. Child obesity has gone down in kindergartners and below.
That's good.
So we are starting to fix that problem as well. Like I have any room to talk. I'm working on it. Like I have any room
Look
to
at
talk.
the title of the show.
But we're making those steps, and I feel like Bill Nye is one of those people, because he has been, it's not something, he didn't just come back on the scene, he's been doing this.
It's just
I feel like he's helped kick our asses into gear.
Yeah, he's trying to at least.
And Bill Nye, keep doing what you're doing. Two big fans.
Two very big fans. But real quick, I'll touch on it, the return of Bill Nye. And it's and I saw it on YouTube, but I didn't quite know what to think before I clicked it. The headline of it, and one of the big things going through the U.S. legislation right now is marijuana. California's got it on their ballot. There's a lot of people that are talking about it. Do we legalize it? The federal government's looking like, do we change our laws on marijuana? So, knowing that, that's one of the big topic issues. Now, do you not think this is what's going to be the part of discussion when you hear Seth Rogen opening statements or opening rapport at the U.S. Senate Council? Do you not think, knowing who he is, you're going to think, oh, this is just some weed shit? It's not.
I know that he is going to the Senate. I don't know what I just remember seeing a passing article. Now, what's he going there for?
Now, let this, watch it, because it does bring up a good point. He does open it, and he's like, a lot of you probably don't know who I am exactly, talking to the Congress people. And yeah, I'm not here, and he opens it up with it. He's like, I'm not here on behalf of marijuana, even though everyone knows my stance on it, and then he makes a knocked up joke and stuff like that. But, he's like, no, let's get down to business. He's trying to bring awareness, more awareness, trying to improve research for Alzheimer's.
Oh yeah,
Because he goes into it. I'm not going to give it away at all because we'll be here all day. But he's like, at first, he says it like most Americans, we think of Alzheimer's as, oh, I forgot my keys or this, that, the next thing. No, the little jokey things of Alzheimer's. But he actually, he then goes into it, he's like, I had very limited information on it myself until it affected me personally. And he's talking about, he married his wife, and his mother-in-law is going through Alzheimer's. And at first it was the jokey, forgetting things, asking double questions. And he goes into it that he's like, now it's progressed to the point that there's a 24-hour nurse. She doesn't remember anything. Like, this is, he's using his fame and his recognition to bring back to, like, yeah, there's a lot of things going on and stuff like that. We don't need to be working on seedless watermelon. We need to be working on problems.
This is actually something that affects me as well. My stepmom is battling Alzheimer's herself. And it gets to the point where she'll go outside to let the dogs out. And she'll be out there for 6 hours and not know that she thinks she was just walked outside.
And, it hits home.
Where she's at. And it's just something that we need to deal with.
It does. And, it affects me personally, too, because it runs in my family. So, my brothers, we're all at risk. My grandmother, just in the last couple years, it hit her, and it hit her hard. It's, it started off, my grandmother, if you ever get the chance to meet her, she's nuts. She's always been nuts. She's always been a soap opera lady, but she was a great grandmother and stuff like that. Oh, she's huge. Like, if I ever got the chance, I would love my grandmother to death, but I would do it. The title of the show would change from one day to Two Fat Guys and a Snorlax. I love you, Nana. I do. But no, like, in the last 2 years, it went to the point that, little things.
Does it hit fast? It hit really fast.
It can, and it can creep. But both of ours that we've
my stepmom hit
it's
really fast.
It was like, it went from little things to, like, forgetting, misdialing numbers, and, I think I'm calling your mom, but, it's you, I'll talk to you. And it went from, she thought she called somebody else, realized it was me, and had a normal discussion. Now, fast forward a month and a half, called, I pick up the phone, oh, no, this isn't Joe. It's JT. Where's your mom? Oh, I think she's at work. Called me in the middle of the day. Well, who's watching you? She reverted to the fact that she thought I was still like 5 years old. There was it gets bad to the point that they start, they lose a lot, and then they'll be somewhere else completely mentally. She went back in time, called my mom one time. Sorry, got me a little choked up. And went back mentally, like fully mentally, thought she was back when my mom was a little kid and they were living in Texas. Like, little kid.
It's nice to see Seth Rogen step up for this.
Oh yeah, he's using his fame.
Even though it's not what we would expect him to step up for, it's nice for him to step up for it.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's just celebrities trying to get publicity. But to a point, yes, maybe there is that cynical little bit of Seth Rogen that's like, hey, this will give me some limelight. But at the same time,
I don't think it's him getting himself limelight.
You could say, but
he's using what he has to actually bring attention to a topic that's been largely ignored.
Yeah, I'm not
saying it's been completely ignored. I'm just saying it used to be a big deal for a little bit, and then it fell out of topic, and then no one's really talked about it for a while.
It's a lot of these, and it's a growing trend, like people realizing, these celebrity people realizing, I can bring attention to something, but not like the Pamela Anderson, like, oh, PETA, something that we're aware of, but it's stuff that needs to be discussed, like Alzheimer's, like childhood obesity, like
Parkinson's,
Parkinson's, all these
MS,
they realize, hey, I can actually use my celebrity to try to help. So yeah, kudos to Bill Nye for coming back and doing what he's doing.
Kudos to Seth Rogen.
Kudos to Seth Rogen. Kudos to Angry Joe.
Kudos to Angry Joe
and Russia, we're watching you.
Well, yeah.
Ukraine,
we're going to wait on that one, and
then
back to the very beginning, Harold Ramos, you will be missed.
You will be missed. So for Two Fat Guys Discuss, I'm John.
I'm Dan.
See you next time.
Shadow.